If you could say something to President Trump and he was going to hear you right now, what would it be?
You are a worthless pile of
And you voted for him how many times?
3 times. That was my bad. Apparently, I'm an idiot.
Do you guys remember this lady?
I will vote for Donald Trump.
Well, I'm trying not to laugh. This is her now.
It's been happening frequently at the 333 Miami Avenue Federal Court building. Janet Correa's husband was detained this week. According to her immigration lawyer, he has already been placed on expedite removal.
They voted for Donald Trump. Donald Trump deport. You heard that right, guys. Janet Correa, the famous Trump singing lady, has had her husband detained by ICE. And not only that, but he got put on expedited removal. They want him out of the U.S. They don't want him. But of course, we've been telling them this all along. They don't want you, bro. Also, do you remember the time I went viral because I told people to call ICE on Latinos for Trump and the family members of Latinos for Trump? It looks like it's happening, and I couldn't be happier. You reap what you sow, and I stand by what I say. But anyways, play silly games, get silly prizes. Let me know what you guys think.
Oh, what a funny moment. Because you erected something, and now you are crying. For me, I think people should be able to know that there is 2 sides of every action. There is a negative and positive side. You elected Trump and his government. You knew his policies. You heard about deportation. You heard about, something that is going to make America great again. From where? How? Those are questions you should be asking yourself. What is the definition of him of making America great again? Maybe his definition is to tax, these low-income families a lot of money and put that money to support billionaires who they, do a lot to reduce the taxes. Maybe that is the definition of him saying that is the great America that I want. And you are just, there thinking America is going to be great. But what is the definition of great America? Maybe you are not included. Maybe you are not included in the people who are in the definition. They don't think about you when they are saying, make America great again. So these are questions that people should actually be able to extra think before taking decision. So I've put out different videos which react on Trump policies and its effect on American people. And as you are watching, you also have some effects that these policies are having over you. Let's watch the whole video and I'm going to write back with my final commentaries. As you're watching, please remember to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Make sure that you drop your ideas in the comment section. Like this video if you find it to be interesting. Now, let's watch the whole video.
Haitian chef in Miami regrets voting for Trump. Why you vote for Trump in the first place? He never played pretend. He's literally said about your people, they're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs. He literally said that. And for you to go vote for him, you should not have no regret. That's your decision. You did that with you knowing about what he said. I ain't gonna lie. I thought he was a funny guy. I still think Trump's one of the funniest president I ever witnessed. But I didn't vote for him because of what he said about Haitians. Out of respect for my Haitian friends and Haitian people that treat me right in my life, I can't go for nobody that really upfront disrespect them. And even eating the cats and eating the dog stuff was a lie. He still was spreading it. So for you as a Haitian man to go vote for Trump and regret it, you gotta look at yourself in the mirror. You knew what he said. He never played pretend. And then on top of that, how you surprised he's deporting people? That's always been his brand. You can't even get mad at Trump. You need to get mad at yourself for making that bad decision.
Farmers and workers in Iowa who once believed Trump's America First message are now watching their livelihoods collapse under the exact same policies that were supposed to protect them. Since siding with Obama twice, Iowa has become a stronghold for Donald Trump, yet perhaps no state has struggled more with his economic policies. During the first quarter of 2025, Iowa's GDP dropped by 6.1%. That's more than any other state aside from neighboring Nebraska. Manufacturing, which drives 17% of Iowa's economic output, has been hit with higher production costs in part because of steep tariffs on imports like aluminum and steel. Meat packing plants, which help make Iowa the nation's leading pork producer, rely heavily on foreign-born workers, hundreds of thousands of whom saw their legal status stripped away by the president. Trump's war on renewable energy also threatens the wind industry that produces more than half of Iowa's electricity. Kirk Leeds, who is the chief executive of the Iowa Soybean Association, said this is as challenging as I've seen it. We've got uncertainties beyond compare. Additionally, Trump's massive bailout of Argentina has upset many Iowans, since China moved immediately after it was announced to lock up Argentine soybean exports to fill the gap from Beijing's boycott of American soy. One of the farmers named Larry asked, "Who are you subsidizing, our competitors or us?" This is what happens when political slogans replace actual economic policy. America First was supposed to protect farmers and manufacturers, but the numbers don't lie. Iowa's economy is tanking.
Don't listen to the Democrats. I promise you, not a single Republican is regretting voting for Donald Trump. I've been seeing this weird rhetoric all over my For You page over the past couple of weeks because I think that like a lot of you guys are starting to watch Candace Owens and her podcast recently. No, we don't. No, 100,000 fucking 52%. We do not regret voting for Donald Trump.
Au contraire, I've come across at least 50 videos in the past 20 minutes just looking briefly of people who regret voting for Trump and who regret MAGA. Candace Owens being the number one culprit in this is hilarious to me, and this made my week, especially since tomorrow's Juneteenth. And I have to share it with you guys because they're now regretting it, and too little, too late.
I never thought that I would see a day where I would be rooting for a university above Donald J. Trump and his administration. But I don't recognize his administration right now. I don't recognize what's happening. How could Trump be such a free speech enthusiast and allowing these things to happen?
Stupid bitches get stitches. Y'all hoes better quit playing with me.
I'm Hispanic and I vote for Mr. Trump. We vote for Mr. Trump.
Beyond betrayed. They used us.
We as Muslims stand with President Trump because he promises peace. He promises peace, not war.
Wow. The pressure is getting worse.
You voted for Donald Trump. I did. You regret that vote? Yes, I do. If you could say anything to President Trump now, what would you say? I expected that you would do what was right doing that. You're creating a disaster, and I don't know what America's going to look like if this continues.
This man who wished not to be identified says his wife is from Venezuela and has lived in...
So I regret my vote for Donald Trump. I regret it because I needed him. I need him. Down sooner. So that I didn't straighten out my date account.
Not clicking. What's not clicking? What's not clicking?
President Trump, we love you. We will support you all the way to the end. Thank you for everything you've been doing.
We have a message for you, President Trump, from all the way down from the RGB 956. Latinos for Trump here representing. We've been with you since 2016. Co-founded Latinos for Trump. We pray for you, and it's time to what?
Trump 2024, man, we have to protect this country.
If they let in hundreds or thousands of people who already have criminal records, if deporting them creates a mass deportation, I'm all for it.
But what if rounded up in all of that are people who work on a farm? If they're doing the jobs that Americans don't want to do, does that worry you?
That wouldn't be fair. Of course, they need to make sure that they don't throw away, they don't kick out, they don't deport people that are family oriented.
But maybe upon Washington, D.C., would you be that sweet red hot lava for us?
Number 3, we're going to deport. We're going to deport a lot of people, 10 million people and growing, anchor babies, their parents, their grandparents. We're going to...
The line. But let's look at one demographic group where Trump did strikingly better than before, the Hispanic vote.
Where are my proud Latinos at tonight?
Trump made large gains amongst Hispanic voters, improving his margin by 10 percentage points on average compared with 2020.
Latino voters could really make or break the race in 2024. The group makes up a record of 14.7% of the electorate.
My wife, she was asking, was like, were you mad that so many Latinos voted for Trump? Like, were you upset about that? And I was like, I knew that they were going to vote for him. I have cousins who want to deport cousins. It's a personal thing. He doesn't care. There's like, no, I want to deport Julian. He's got to go.
It is in Texas, particularly on the border with Mexico, Starr County, where almost all of the population are Hispanic, hasn't voted for a Republican presidential candidate in more than 100 years. Trump got more than 57% of the vote there.
Deportation alert. When Donald Trump takes office on Monday, he has ICE agents lining up in Chicago. They've flown 150 extra agents there to conduct massive raids to start detaining immigrants and start scaring the crap out of people.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you something.
We don't care.
I want to get out.
Well, come out then.
No, this door is locked. I can't even turn it.
Oh, come out.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you.
We don't care.
So recently they did a focus group where they invited several Latinos. All these Latinos voted for Trump, and they stated that they regret their votes for Trump because of the economy and mass deportations, which was Trump. Trump was really transparent on these particular issues. He'd been running on border security for over half a decade. He'd been running on tariffs and who could use which bathroom and who could play in whose sports. So there's no possible way you could really have voters remorse when Trump was completely transparent. I just find it interesting that this study comes out after Trump took funding from this grant for Hispanics and redirected those funds to HBCUs. This is very telling. And they go on and say that if it was a do-over, they still wouldn't vote for Kamala. They'll vote for a third party or stay home. How man don't say it? Hi haters, you remember that song? Yeah. It's telling you.
They're the largest tariffs in a century. They're larger than the Smoot-Hawley tariffs, which many people say directly contributed to the Great Depression. Does that worry you?
Of course, those concerns are in the back of my mind. But as we've already alluded to, we're optimists. We do a lot of praying. We have a lot of faith. And our faith is in God and not in administration.
In agriculture, there's about 85% of what happens on my farm that is completely out of my control.
Yeah.
So I have to do the very best I can at managing that 15% of inputs and costs and labor and marketing and signing the best contract and doing the best job that I can and leave the other 85% up to the good Lord. And that's all we can do. Whether it's weather or disease or a hailstorm or a pandemic or administration. And we just weather the storm.
I mean, in North Carolina, every year we prepare for a major hurricane.
Right.
Every 3 or 4 years, something drastic's going to happen.
Yeah.
So we're used and we're accustomed to that. Now it's just that much more challenging that we got to get through it and know how to and weather this economic storm.
This is the thing I think that confounds people. You're talking about acts of God, acts of nature, hurricanes, rainstorms. This isn't that. This is a person in the White House making decisions. Does that frustrate you at all?
In the world now, we need certainty and we need consistency. And we, like Brandon said earlier, we've got to have trade. All of our markets are depressed right now. And the only way to really succumb to that is we've got to be sending stuff on boats going across the seas.
Yeah.
But I think that's also where part of not just, the president comes into play, but I think that's where also a lot of the cabinets of staff and all the people that he has, and also, all your other department agencies come into play and making sure we have those relationships.
Do you think the president has that?
I mean, I think he knows he's got people in place, and I'm hoping that that's what he can rely on.
I would rather face this trade war than a Category 4 or 5 storm coming off the coast of Wilmington straight towards it.
Let's take a listen to one more woman who we spoke with. If you could say something to President Trump, he was going to hear you right now, what would it be?
You're a worthless pile of
And you voted for him how many times?
3 times. That was my bad. Apparently, I'm an idiot.
She's a Pennsylvania voter. But let me just say this. It's not just what she said about him. It is the apparently I'm an idiot comeback that is the best. Andy, please roll it again. Everybody listen.
Let's take a listen to one more woman who we spoke with. If you could say something to President Trump, he was going to hear you right now, what would it be?
You're a worthless pile of
And you voted for him how many times?
3 times. That was my bad. Apparently, I'm an idiot.
I mean, amen, lady. 3 times though. And she's probably right about herself, but that's pretty amazing. Yeah, accountability is good. Accountability is good. The replay is so black. Laughing my ass off, someone says. Yeah, it is. Anyways, I'm going to move on. I want to talk about other things, but first I want to get a word in from our sponsors, and then we're back with the program because support for the show today comes from BetterHelp. So March is a time to celebrate women, but it's also a good time to recognize just how much women carry every single day. I think about my mom all the time, and I think about what she's done. She's always been the steady center of our family, always showing up and always giving everybody else therapy, and, of her own. But therapy from a professional can be a space to give something back to yourself. And that's where BetterHelp comes in. BetterHelp makes it easy right here. You fill out a questionnaire, you get matched with a licensed therapist, and if it is not the right fit, you can switch and you can do it at any time. So visit BetterHelp.com/DonLemon. You get 10% off there of your first month. That's BetterHelp.com/DonLemon. Again, get 10% off of your first month. So support for the show also comes from one of my favorites, and that's Graza. This episode of the Don Lemon Show brought to you by Graza, and I love to cook and I love to host. So trust me when I tell you that good olive oil, if you're a cook, really matters. Okay. All the ingredients matter, but olive oil really matters. Graza has become my go-to because it's fresh, it's flavorful, it's easy to use every day. I keep sizzle for cooking, drizzle for finishing, and they have frizzle. It's for high heat cooking. I did a stir fry for Tim the other night. Right after the show, he's like, can you come in here and cook for me? I don't know. It's sparking everywhere. And I'm like, you're not doing it right. He's trying to what he was doing? Sorry to go off on this. He had some frozen vegetables and he kept putting it in the grease. And I'm like, you have to thaw those out so that it doesn't spark. But anyways, I cooked it, high heat with the frizzle. Turned out amazing. So you can taste the difference when you use Graza. And honestly, the bottle looks great on your counter too. So Graza also has mayo, aioli made with their olive oil, and they are really, really good. So go to graza.co and use the code LEMON to get 20% off of your first order. That's Graza, graza.co, and the code is LEMON. Thank you so much to our sponsors.
I hate to say I told you so or an FAFO. You decide. Remember when Donald Trump said that Haitian immigrants were eating dogs and cats, right? Well, that wasn't a deal breaker for Haitian restaurant owner Wilkinson Ken Sejour. He voted for Trump in 2024. Now he says he regrets it after Trump's immigration crackdown scared away nearly all of his customers. When asked why he voted for Trump, here's what he said.
Given the impression, like everyone else, him being a business person, that he understands, how business is conducted and how he's able to grow and make businesses much more effective.
Now, Sejour says that his business is struggling after Trump moved to revoke temporary protected status for Haitians and ICE arrested a man just steps away from his restaurant. But I have to ask, should he really be surprised? Did he think Trump's immigration crackdown would only affect other people and somehow never reach him or his community? Because whatever else you want to say about Donald Trump, he told us exactly what he was going to do. He campaigned on conducting the largest mass deportation operation in American history. Look at the signs at the Republican convention. Mass deportation now, right? It was right there. This is a painful lesson for Sejour, but Trump told people exactly who he was and exactly what he planned to do. All they had to do was listen. For more, check out my Lucky Lemon 7 newsletter on Substack. Link in bio.
You voted for Trump?
Yes, I sure did. I feel like I was tricked when you said that you was going to close the border and go after the gangs, and then you're probably only arrest 10 criminals and thousands of working class people. It's shameful. It's shameful what our nation has become. And you don't know what's going to happen to the kids. You don't know. That's who I'm really worried about. We're talking about thousands. We're not just talking about 3 kids or 4 kids.
so many people chose to go down that rabbit hole to see if change was really possible with this administration instead of actually doing their research. Because there's no way you wouldn't have seen this coming if you watched the first Trump term. All I know is history is going to look back on these moments where fascism took over and where democracy died. It's probably going to be the title. There's no coming back from this. And I know a lot of people probably have been saying this. But I'm not trying to be doom and gloom, but there is no coming back from this. I just don't see it. I mean, look at the generations of people that are still being controlled by people like Lady Gaddis. All these content creators that have came out of nowhere saying the same stuff. And I said, this was the video I was making earlier. These people are saying this stuff because they're getting paid to. There's money in it. A lot of money that come from super PACs and dark money, that comes from different agencies that don't have to show their name, but they give money to, conservative outlets and these, white nationalist outlets. And then they keep funding these people. That's why they go to different, universities and always looking for someone to engage with. The debate isn't the American thing. What they're trying to do is basically indoctrinate as many people as they can for their cause. This guy here, for example, went to Tennessee State University wearing his Maga hat. He was really just trying to get as many people to get outraged, because outrage sells. Get bothered, get triggered, and all of that, because they get their phones out and then they go back and forth. And then he keeps the narrative going. He says whatever, gets them all out, irate and riled up, while all the views keep going up. This is the playbook of how social media works now, that it does not take a lot to get things going in a way that it goes viral. These people get notoriety. They get noticed by some of the big wigs that are in the Republican Party, and they start giving these people money to keep pushing those narratives, because it's about division now. It's not about anything. When the last time you actually heard a Republican talk about, hey, I want to fix your health care. Hey, I want to see what we can do in your state to make sure jobs can actually give you a livable wage. Hey, I want to make sure that we can get childcare down so mothers can actually get back to work. And then you don't hear that. Congress doesn't have to talk about anything useful anymore, because they have these young people out here having useless debates. And in the end, all we have is a bunch of people pissed off, mad on both sides, looking for the next trigger moment, and then black people being the catalyst that push all the new type of Charlie Kirks or Lily Gaddis or all the other ones, Nick Fuentes and all the rest of the people. They use this stuff to catapult their messages, and they've been doing it flawless. Stop falling for this as a trigger mechanism, because anytime you're triggered, anytime you're bothered, anytime it's outrage, it just gives them clicks. That's what they're looking for. These people would not be around, the Laura Looms and everybody else wouldn't be around y'all if this was not a financial gain at all. If we took the money out of politics, we wouldn't see them. We have to get to a place where we unplug ourselves from judging others about what they say online to get us triggered. It's like a person standing on the edge of a cliff and they're screaming all types of stuff about you, and you know it's the edge of a cliff, but you're going over there because you're interested in what the person's saying versus the danger and where they're at. The whole point of them getting you over there is to engage with them in a dangerous situation. It's a no-win situation. Look where we're at. Are we winning yet? Doesn't matter how much we talk, how much we protest, how much we walk. It's always the same. The top doesn't get to do anything. They don't have to. They just push all the stuff and let the strings keep going while everybody else is doing their bidding. And we're still out here struggling.
So these people that you are seeing right here are crying. They are the same very people who were supporting openly that Trump was going to make America a great country, great nation. But as I told you in the introduction, they didn't think about what is the meaning of that. What is the deeper definition of great America? So if you don't ask yourself this kind of tricky question and you want to go deep inside the things, inside what a person is saying, because if every person is, making rallies and things, he wants to impress people to elect him. Because his goal is to become a president, is to read you. And you already know Trump is a billionaire. Of course, he will not do anything that hurt his businesses. You already know that he has, businesses, he has some companies. So every decision is going to base on that. Are these policies protecting my already established companies and businesses? And now you are saying that you didn't think about that. Yes, let's suppose that you didn't think about that. I agree. But now you didn't think even about how you are going to face the very consequences that you are going to face if Trump don't do what he said he will do, or if what he said he will do is not defined, or the definition of them doesn't match with the definition of yours. As I told you, I stress on this. Maybe Trump is doing what he said he was going to do. Told you, I'm going to make America great again. How? Increasing the taxes of, these low-income families and decreasing the taxes for billionaires, chasing away or deporting people. These are the same definition of his to make America great again. So now if you're saying that he hasn't done anything, I think you are lying. You are lying to yourself. And Trump is there with peace because he said, I'm going to make America great again, and I'm doing too. Every time he's on a speech, he declares it. I'm the first president who has done something that all presidents of United States didn't do. I'm the very president who really made America the great nation that it has never been. And you are contrasting to that. So there is kind of the opposite thinking between Trump supporters, or who were Trump supporters, with Trump himself. That is why it's very simple. Just face the consequences. Face the problems that you caused yourself. There is no person who forced you to elect Trump. So if you elected Trump, be sure to also elect or choose what is going to come from his election, or from him being the president of the United States of America. This was my final commentaries, and as you're having your ideas, make sure that you drop those in the comment section by answering this simple question. Do you think the blame should be put on Trump, or you should turn the blame to people who elected him? Let's discuss that question in the comment section. And if you have not yet subscribed to this YouTube channel, remember to do so. Like this video if you find it to be interesting. And let's meet in the next video, which is coming very soon.